Hello there, first grade. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about true or false equations and how we can figure out if a problem or equation is true and how is it or how could it be false. So right here, I have an equation. It says 8 plus 2 equals 7 plus 3. So looking at this, I want to determine whether it is true, this equation is true or false. All right, so it says 8 plus 2 equals 7 plus 3. So on one side right here, I have 8 plus 2. And then on the other side, I have of the equal sign, I have 7 plus 3. So I want to figure out what does this equal sign mean? What is it telling us? What do you think that the equal sign is telling us? Yeah, it's saying that this equation right here is true. It means that the two sides of the equation have the same value. So to find this, if this equation is true, we're going to go ahead and use counters to help us solve each side of our equation. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my 8 plus 2. So I'm going to use two different colored counters. All right. So I'm going to use my red first and then go into yellow. So my red is going to represent my 8. So I'm going to go ahead and make 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and use yellow to represent my 2. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue in my 10 frame. That way it's easier for me to count it. So I had 8 there and then 2 yellow. So 1, oops, sorry, 2. So looking at this, what is 8 plus 2 equal to? Let's see. So we have 8, 9, 10. I have a group of 10 here. So what I'm going to put is 8 and 2. Oops. 8 and 2. That equals 10. I figured out that 8 and 2 equals my 10. So now I need to figure out on the other side of my equal sign, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what 7 plus 3 equals. Again, I'm going to use my red counters to help me. So the 7 is going to represent my red is going to represent my 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And then my yellow are going to represent my 3. 1, 2, oops, 3. All right, let's count it. 7, 8, 9, 10. So right here, I have my group of 10, which 7 plus 3, we figured out equals 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did at the other side. I'm going to figure out what it is. I figured out that it is 7. So I'm going to go ahead and move it. I'm going to switch it over. Well, it's not working. Figured out my 7 and my 3 also equals the number 10. So that is making my equation true because 8 plus 2 equals 10 and so does 7 plus 3. So 8 plus 2 equals 7 plus 3. All right. So again, looking at these counters, the counters on this side are representing my 8 in my red and 2 in my yellow. They're representing this side of the equation. Then my 7 in the red and 3 in the yellow are representing this side of my equation. So it's really, really important that we are taking the time to see and put down our counters and put them in the correct color to help us with this equation. Because it helps us figure out that the equation is true. Alrighty. So we are going to go ahead and figure out another equation. And I'm going to go ahead and put that equation. Give me 1 second. All right, so we have 5 equals 11 minus 6. So we already have one of our answers right here. So all we need to do is figure out 11 minus 6. So what I'm going to do is, with the subtraction problem, I'm going to start with the whole. So that means I'm going to only use one colored counter. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and use, I'm going to go ahead and use red. So I'm going to make 11 of them, because remember, 11 is my whole here on the one side. So 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to box off my group of 10, so it's easier for me to figure out that there are 10 in here. I'm starting out with 10 on the top and 1 on the bottom, which makes it 11. So 10, 11. So I'm going to subtract 6. Remember that minus sign is saying that we need to take away 6 from our 11. So I'm going to go ahead and start down at the bottom and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you did count how many you have on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we figured out that 11 minus 6 is 5. So does that make that, is this equation, is it true or false? Does 5 equal 11 minus 6? Yes, it does. Because 11 minus 6 equals 5. So 5 equals 5. So that is correct. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to let you try one on your own. So it might be true. So we've done 2 true equations, or it might be false. So I'm going to see if it would be true or false. So let me get it up and then I'll have you guys work on that. All right, so here's our equation. 7 plus 7 equals 12 minus 5. So I want you to go ahead and figure that on your own. You can draw counters, you can use counters, however it helps you. And remember, with that subtraction, you want to keep the same color to subtract it so it's easier. All right, so go ahead and pause, and when you're done, go ahead and press play and we'll go over it. Alrighty, so you just figured out what 7 plus 7 equals 12 minus 5. So you figured out both sides of our equation. All right, and remember, we need to figure out if it's a true or false statement on or a true or false equation. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with 7 plus 7. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to use counters, and I'm going to, since it's addition, I'm going to use 2 different colored ones. So first I'm going to use red. That's going to represent my 7, my first 7. So I'm going to do 7 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alrighty. Now I'm going to do 7 yellow. And remember, you want to keep going with your tens frame so it's easier for you to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm gonna remember, block off your group of 10 for it to be easier to count, to make sure that you have those 7 and the 7. Oops, hold on one second. So let's count to make, let's see. Ready? We have 7 right here. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 7 plus 7. So now it's easier for me to count. I know I have 10 in here because I blocked off my group of 10. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7 plus 7, we figured out, equals 14. So now we need to figure out this part. What is 12 minus 5? So we're going to use our counters again. Remember, our counters are definitely, they can help us figure out our equation. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead, since it's subtraction, I'm going to only use, again, one color, and I'm going to use red. So I'm going to make 12 of them. 3, 4, 5. I know that 5 and 5 make 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double it. Okay. Now I have 10, and then I'm going to add on 2 more. 10, 11, 12. I see my group of 10, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to box my group of 10 off. All right, so just to make sure that I have my whole right here, which is 12, 10, 11, 12. So I'm subtracting 5. Remember, that subtraction sign is telling us to get rid of 5 from our big number, which is 12. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count to see how many we have left. Let's just real quick before we do that. Let's count to make sure we did 5. Let's double check our work. I have 3, 4, 5. All right, there we go. All right, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, you can count it that way. But if you're looking at it, you know 5 are on the top. So 5, 6, 7. So 12 minus 5 is 7. So with our equation that we have here, now 14 equals 7. Let's look at this. Does 14 equal 7? Let me go ahead and erase this real quick so it's easier to see. Does 14 equal 7? No, it doesn't. So that makes our problem that we just did and that you just got false. It is not a true problem. Awesome. You guys did an awesome job of figuring out if equations are true or if they're false. So this is going to help you with the lessons coming up that will teach you how to make true equations. So I will see you guys later. Great job.